We support the bill.
Good afternoon. Kim Lewis, representing the California Coalition for Youth, which represents runaway and homeless youth providers across the state, and we're pleased to support this bill. A lot of the youth are our future, and we do not want to impose additional barriers upon them getting employment and housing. Thank you.
My name is Paul Bowden, and I'm with the Western Regional Advocacy Project. I came up off the streets as a kid, and I've been working on homelessness programs for 32 years now. But this is not just a homeless bill. California, unfortunately, with anti-Okie laws, with sundown towns, with Japanese Exclusion Act, there's a long history in this state and in this country of using standing, sitting, sleeping, laying down to criminalize the presence of people that local governments want to get rid of. We are all going to stand, sit, sleep, and eat. But only some of us are going to go to jail for it. And we're asking you to please say enough is enough. After 200 years of treating people that we want to get rid of as criminals, it is time to stop today. Thank you very much.
My name is Ahmed Al-Khatib. I'm a resident of San Mateo County, where there's a lot of rural homelessness, and I work with the Western Regional Advocacy Project. I support SB 608 because I believe we cannot criminalize our way out of homelessness and poverty.
Good afternoon. My name is Bill Collins. I'm a member of Oakland St. Mary's Hope and Justice. And I also agree with the bill, SB 608. And I'd give an example of this is a beautiful building. Now, we would all be very misjudged if you foreclosed on this building and you had to have your meetings in the park. That's because this is how this started. When the homeless came out, where the end results, the banks got helped. We're just asking for the same.
Okay, thank you. Can we have everybody just state their name, their organization, and their position on the bill so we can expedite the hearing, please?
I'm Judith Larson. I'm Executive Director of Jericho, A Voice for Justice, and we are co-sponsors of this bill.
Thank you, Judith. I know.
I'm Warren Barnes, and I'm in support of this bill, SB 608.
Hi, my name is Nikki Jones. I'm with Wind Youth Services and also with my community, my friends, my neighbors, my brothers and sisters. And I am heavily in support of the bill. As you can see, it's birthed from the heart of citizens of California. And I think that that alone is enough to move it on. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Mikhail Mishler. I'm a homeless youth here. And I just want to say that if you support this bill, that all the homeless youth and the people with their beautiful faces will have a chance in life to accomplish everything they ever dream of. So please give that consideration. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Coral Fagan, and I'm with the Western Regional Advocacy Project and also Critical Resistance, and I'm very much in support of this bill.
My name is Kathleen Williams from Sacramento, California. I'm a civil rights lawyer. I have seen the kind of liability that cities incur by the push to arrest, and I really support this bill.
Hello, my name is Shamika Wilson from SE's Justice Group, and we support this bill. As a mother of two who has also been homeless, I think it is very important that this bill is passed.
Hi, my name is David Bouchot, and I'm here on behalf of Legal Services for Prisoners with Children, and it is our position that this sort of police harassment does not make our community safer and is a huge waste of taxpayer money, so we urge you to vote yes on this bill. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Zach. I'm 24. I have over 10 camping and loitering tickets this year, and I support this bill.
My name is Amanda Oldham. I am with Wind Youth Services. I'm a youth homeless, and I want this act passed. I've been homeless too long.
Thank you. Becca Kramer, ACLU of California, co-sponsors of this bill, and we strongly encourage you to pass it.
Latoya Ramsey with the National Association of Social Workers, California chapter, in support.
I'm Molly Moriarty, a judge volunteer working at Loaves and Fishes, and I support this bill.
My name is Jolene Jones. I'm from San Jose, and my affordable housing work took me to homeless advocacy, and I am sick and tired of my dear friends from the jungle getting kicked out over and over and over, using taxpayers' money, the police harassing them. This is not humane, and I'm just sick of having my friends go through this and go through hospital stays because of it over and over, and it has to end. The criminalization has to end, and that's happening throughout the whole state.
Thank you, Chairman Bell. I'm Phil Mastrocola. I'm a resident of San Jose. I'm here representing Patrick Train, as a friend of mine. He is a graduate of the University of California at Berkeley, an architect for 50 years. He lives under a bridge in San Jose because he's had a stroke. He's in a wheelchair. But as of 10 o'clock this morning, is in San Jose PD's jail because of a misappropriated library book. He's a criminal now.
All that other stuff was awesome. I'm Christy Kennedy. I'm just some dude, and I totally support this bill. It's just like, it all goes back to humanity. Like, I can talk forever about the whole thing, but it's like, when push comes to shove, at the end of the day, I have to do what I have to do. I have to eat, I have to drink water, I have to go to sleep, you know? And if I'm indoors or if I'm outside, wherever I am in life, it's like, for me to be criminalized because I live outside or I'm sleeping outside, that's where it becomes unfair. So, I don't know, that's cool.
Bryn Jones, I'm a resident of Sacramento, and I support this bill.
My name is Michael Chan. I go to Wynn Youth Center. I've been homeless before. It's not fun or pretty, especially in winter. It's freezing out there, and I support this bill.
Hello, Erica Dela Cruz on behalf of Justice Now and Californians United for a Responsible Budget and Support.
Good afternoon. My name is Lawrence Jones. I'm from the St. Anthony's Foundation. It's time for us to stop this chronic problem of homelessness and push forward as a Golden State and support Bill 608.
Afternoon, Pete Wywitty with the California Partnership and Health and Human Services Network, statewide coalition of anti-poverty organizations. We've got a lot of great ideas about how to end poverty. Policing homeless folks is not one of them, so please pass this bill.
Chair and members, Kathy Mossberg, representing the California Association of Food Banks, strongly support this bill.
My name is C.T. Weber, Peace and Freedom Party of California State Legislative Committee Chairperson, and you have our letter on file in support of this bill. And we think maybe 100 years from now, our children will be reading about what a terrible period in American history this was when poor people didn't have a place to live and didn't have a place to live. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Colleen Rebecca from St. Anthony Foundation in San Francisco in support of this bill. Criminalizing non-criminal activity like sitting and sleeping doesn't help us solve homelessness. In fact, it makes it worse.
I'm Father Jose, and I work at St. Anthony's Foundation in San Francisco, and I walk every day on San Francisco streets. I know a lot of people. I have met a lot of homeless, and I know that they're homeless not by choice.
Jim Lindberg, on behalf of the Friends Committee on Legislation of California, we strongly support this bill.
Hi, my name is Katie Durbin. I'm a homeless youth struggling to make it on the streets of Sacramento. I'm homeless not by my own choice. And the amount of times that I've been woken up with a flashlight to the face and I've been hassled or roughed up or ticketed for just sleeping somewhere is completely insane. And I strongly support this bill.
My name is Lydia Height, and I'm pretty sure that I can say safely that everyone in this room and watching this sleeps every night. So me being a homeless youth in Sacramento, believe that everyone should have the right to sleep safely without being harassed, and I strongly support this bill.
I'm Ron Sorensen, a native of Hayward, California. I strongly support this bill. Please stop the local communities from criminalizing homelessness.
Good afternoon. I'm Emerson Chin from San Francisco, and I represent the homeless. And I hope you not, stuff and beat them up sometime. So I hope everything okay. My English is not that good. Thank you.
Hi, Misty Rojo with Justice Now, advocacy group for people in California women's prisons, and spent 3 years homeless reentering myself. Strongly support this bill.
My name is Diana Zuniga. I'm the statewide coordinator for Californians United for a Responsible Budget. We are trying to curb prison and jail spending, and we want the criminalization of homelessness to stop. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Salima Hankins. I'm representing Dignity and Power Now. We're an advocacy group advocating for incarcerated persons, their families, and communities, and this bill definitely impacts those communities, so we definitely support this bill.
My name is Elvis Brenner, and I support this bill.
My name is Kenny Lee. I'm staying at St. Mary's Center at Oakland. I'm the homeless right now. I really strong support the bill SB 608. Please don't ignore us. We are the part of the population. We are the part of the society. Thank you.
I'm Eddie Harris. I live in Sacramento, and I'm in support of this bill. And I'm sure I would represent the millions of people that probably would like to stand back there, but they're not able to. The millions of people around the world would probably support this bill also, because it gives people a chance to live again. Thank you.
I'm Chris Herring. I'm a researcher at the UC Berkeley Center on Human Rights, and there's a strong research consensus that criminalization of homelessness contradicts housing first and creates serious housing barriers to accessing housing.
Good afternoon. I'm Carmelita Lozano, and I am a volunteer at St. Anthony's Dining Room, feeding thousands and thousands every day of homeless, disabled, and elderly people. And for a country so rich as ours, I don't know how we can stand looking at older people. Don't forget, once we will all get old. I'm 90 years old, and we will all get old, and we hope it doesn't happen to us. So to give sympathy now and to take care of them now, maybe God will not let us fall in their footsteps. And so we need something with a big budget. Put something aside. Put something aside for the elderly. Thank you.
Hi, Jennifer Friedenbach, Executive Director of the Coalition on Homelessness, and we strongly support this bill because we believe that citing, arresting, and jailing people simply because they're too poor to afford a place to live is not only wrong, but it creates an additional barrier to moving towards solving homelessness. Thank you.
Dilara Yarbrough, UC Center for Human Rights and Coalition on Homelessness, San Francisco. I strongly support this bill. Criminalization is a misallocation of resources that could be used for real solutions that would end homelessness.
Good afternoon. My name is Francisco Dominguez. I'm a documentary photographer. I've had exhibits on homelessness here in California, also in Colorado. I strongly support this bill, and I call on you to look at yourselves, at your own humanity, and think about compassion for people that don't have as much as all of you sitting here today. This is a crime. It is a crime, what is happening to the homeless people, for the downtrodden in this state. Yeah, thank you.
My name is Susan Harmon. I'm from Oakland. Utah has solved the homeless problem by housing the homeless. They've found it's cheaper than the criminalization and the emergency room costs. So why don't we do that?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, those in favor. Now we'll hear the other side. We'd like to invite people that either oppose the bill or have questions. Thank you. Come forward, please. Let the people sit.
Thank you. Let's get out.
Thank you.
We'll stay here. Oh.
Please, yes.
Mr. Chairman and members, Dan Carrig on behalf of the League of California Cities. I think the last witness from the supporters really captures our position on this measure. We think we ought to be focusing on actually providing housing for people that are homeless rather than this proposal, which really doesn't do anything. It doesn't build additional units. It doesn't really help in that way. Cities are struggling. Cities are struggling in this area because, frankly, the federal and state government have dropped the ball on this issue. The federal government has backed out of the affordable housing issue probably 20 or 30 years ago. The state in 2011 took our redevelopment funds, which is $1 billion a year in affordable housing. That's gone. The state housing bonds that have been issued periodically in the past are exhausted. So we basically have a affordable housing problem with no resources. So we don't think that this proposal really adds anything to really solving the problem, such as the last witness said. There is a major package of affordable housing funding pending in the Assembly. The former chair of this committee, Senator DeSaulnier, had worked on an aspect of that. If it passed, it'd be $1 billion a year annually in affordable housing. Let's do that. Let's do something that actually gives us resources so we can actually do something with the problem. Allowing some people in this room to stay out longer in the cold doesn't help anybody. So that's the reason we oppose the bill, and we think that we ought to have more constructive solutions.
Mr. Chair, members, Joshua Shaw with Shaw Yoder Antwi, representing the City of Santa Monica. We would associate ourselves with the remarks of the League of California Cities and their written remarks that are reflected in your analysis. Agree that the premise is not we should criminalize the status, but we disagree with the approach of the bill. In fact, commend to you the multidisciplinary, resource-intensive, progressive, and compassionate approach that our city for decades has pursued, as represented in our most recent action plan to address homelessness, where we provide our first principle is prioritization of services and housing. Our approach is that individuals should be identified early and provided appropriate housing as quickly as possible with intensive wraparound services to stabilize them once housed. We collaborate with the justice system, including the LA County's Homeless Community Court, where if we can identify these folks, move them through that system, and they participate in treatment, they can have reduced or even eliminated sanctions. So again, it's not criminalization, it's getting them into successful case management. We've provided roughly $7 million annually over the last several years and continue to do that out of our budget to provide housing and services. We collaborate with other agencies on the west side of LA, including nonprofits. And since 2009, when we really stepped up this plan, we've been able to reduce, not by pushing these folks to the borders in a way, but we've reduced the fundamental essence of homelessness in our city. Commend that approach.
I want to address the bill specifically.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
We're talking about the bill, not.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Matt Gray on behalf of Cal Small Biz, as well as Taxpayers for Improving Public Safety. We repeatedly heard that the correct answer is housing. I usually work on public safety issues, and despite the feel-good rhetoric before, I'm not interested, and my clients are not interested in criminalizing homelessness in any way. We do need housing. One of the concerns is, in all my years of working on this issue, we have the very real threat of a certain segment of population mingling in with the homeless. We have about 30,000 unregistered 290 sex offenders. We don't know where they are, but we do know they're homeless and they're out there. We see the effects of the homeless, and I'm speaking in general terms because that's what we're dealing with here, facts about specifics. But I'm not addressing them to the attendees today, but used condoms, used syringes, sex offenders, and other issues which are not exactly appropriate to be in front of youth centers, elder care centers, schools, and I understand there's some amendments pertaining to schools being taken. But let's say, for example, the grassy area between a sidewalk and the street. Well, that's now an eligible area in my review of the bill, that could be an encampment area. How successful are businesses going to be when people are camped out in front of the business, not obstructing the doorway, but right underneath the window or somewhere else? We need to make sure that we have appropriate places that help the homeless, those who want to be helped, transients, homeless, whatever you want to call them. Many of them want to improve their lives, and we should do so. Part of the answer is with better housing opportunities, vocational opportunities, educational, psychosocial, substance abuse treatment. The answer is not simply allowing the rest of California to become like San Francisco. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman,
Let's have order in the room so we can hear the testimony, please. Everybody has their own opinion, so go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Ron Kingston. I represent 5 apartment associations today: the Apartment Association California Southern Cities, East Bay Rental Housing Association, Apartment Association Orange County, NorCal Rental Property Association, and North Valley Property Association. The bill's focus is for public property, and the issue is what the home access to that public property. Yet, the definition of public space does specifically encroach on the ability of homeless to occupy our rental properties. It specifically says on page 6, lines 7 through 10, speaking specifically to the bill, Mr. Chairman, I know that you would appreciate that it allows the homeless to access our sidewalks, our courtyards, our plazas. We understand that the author of the bill doesn't want to do that, to permit homeless to live or reside on our property, and we would respectfully ask for an amendment to make sure that the focus of the bill is on public property and not on our privately owned property. We have talked with the author's staff on this. They are receptive, but we would hope the committee would endorse our request for amendment. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome.
Thank you.
The rest of you can either come up to the, the microphone. Yes, sir, go ahead.
My name is Mark Wheatley. I'm in my 4th term as a city councilman in the city of Arcata. We're a small, and I would like to consider us a very progressive city. There's no issue I've dealt with more than homelessness as a council member, but this bill as proposed would not forge any solution. The solution is affordable housing. To advocate for allowing occupation of public space is to legitimize putting people in a substandard housing condition and that is not the solution. We also own and manage a community forest that's public land that we would be overrun with problems on, and we already are trying to manage that public space. There are real public health and safety issues that go along with trying to manage public space. In my day job, I work for the state, and I've seen the impacts of homeless encampments on resources throughout the state of California. So as a public official and as a resource manager, I don't see this bill as proposed as a solution. I think, as has been mentioned earlier, focusing on affordable housing is the solution. As the city of Arcata, we have developed a homeless services plan. It's taken us over 10 years to string together the multiple funding sources it takes to put together a transitional housing project, and that will provide 40 beds for homeless. That is the solution. That is our focus, and this bill doesn't get us there. So, thank you.
Good afternoon, Kiara Ross on behalf of the City of Stockton. We would echo the comments of the League of California Cities and would oppose the bill. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members. My name is Estela Lopez, and I'm here representing the Central City East Association in downtown Los Angeles. These are the property owners in the area known as Skid Row in downtown Los Angeles. If you want an example of what this bill would do in any of your cities, look at Skid Row. Because at the moment, due to recent federal court decisions, enforcement on the sidewalks of Skid Row is practically non-existent. The numbers are growing, and so is the criminal activity. Persons left on the sidewalk are exposed to the elements, and I don't just mean the weather. There are more drug dealers and human traffickers in Skid Row at the moment than there are housing providers and mental health experts. Yes, we need more housing. Yes, we need more mental health services, because mental health addiction does not get better under a freeway overpass. Despite the resources concentrated in downtown Los Angeles, 2,000 people are on the sidewalk, living day and night, doing everything you do inside your homes on the sidewalk. You still need public order. You still need sanitation. There is a cost to this bill, but the cost is worse in human lives. People do not live on the sidewalks. They die on the sidewalks. We need to help these people, but help is not concrete. Thank you.
We make our statements from now on be brief, and
My name is Blair Best. I'm the Executive Director of the Historic Core of downtown Los Angeles. I also live in the area with my 2-year-old son. We encompass part of Skid Row. We came a long way to talk to you today just to impress upon you how much this issue is of a concern to us, and long-term solutions are what we're hoping for. This bill does not serve that. I've talked to many of your staff, and you have a letter. I just want to say this feels like we're giving up on them. Streets and sidewalks are not a sustainable place to live, and you know, we have to look at the fact that many of the long-term homeless are extremely service resistant. It's an ugly truth, but it exists, and I urge you to really consider this bill and consider looking at better solutions.
Good afternoon. My name is Marie Rumsey. I'm here on behalf of the Central City Association and also here to voice strong opposition to the bill. We are concerned about the bill for 2 main reasons. One, it will not provide any resources to help homeless individuals, and 2, it will greatly compromise public right-of-way in the city of Los Angeles. The impact it will have on business improvement districts and municipalities has not been stated as clearly as I think it needs to be. Business improvement districts, law enforcement officials are often the first responders to homeless individuals and connect them with services. If this bill is approved, it will greatly compromise their ability to provide that outreach and will expose them to additional liability and litigation. CCA is strongly supportive of Assemblymember Atkins' 2 bills, Speaker Atkins, for affordable housing, and we believe that is the way to address homelessness. Thank you.
Brief statements, please.
My name is Dion Dwyer, represent the Downtown Sacramento Partnership, and we do oppose this bill. We have outreach workers. Last year we housed 117 homeless individuals, and we reconnected 285 back with their services. We have a chance to raise the bar, not lower the bar here, and we challenge you for affordable housing.
Good afternoon, Sean Lewis on behalf of the Sacramento Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce. Although we do not have a registered official position in support or opposition, we do want to be on the record that we're watching and very concerned with certain provisions. We'd like to echo some of the concerns that have already been made, but we would like to add that the business community has a vested interest in approaching this issue from a comprehensive perspective, and we're concerned this bill goes in the wrong direction of that.
Mr. Chair and members, Chris McKaylee on behalf of the Civil Justice Association of California. Our concern is that the bill creates a new protected class in California state law with very broad definitions of housing status on bottom of page 4, top of 5, as well as homeless. And worst, it creates a number of damages that will be available, including a $1,000 statutory penalty on page 7. And I think that as Senator Galgiani and Senator Roth, who are trying to address some of the abuses with ADA litigation, would note, the creation of a statutory penalty of $1,000 is going to create a litigation nightmare in this state. Thank you.
I'm Ricky Schaefer. I'm the CEO of the Yuba Sutter Chamber of Commerce. We represent about 630 businesses in the Yuba Sutter area. We're also the Visit Yuba Sutter Hub and the local hub for the SBDC. We are partnering with our cities and our counties with the Homeless Consortium to provide real solutions in our area. One of our major concerns was that this eradicates the line between homelessness and vagrancy. We're working to provide real solution for homelessness and to provide real services, and we strongly oppose SB 608.
Mr. Chair and members, Matthew Harga with the California Business Properties Association. Just real quick on a point that hasn't been mentioned. This bill specifically disallows business improvement district agents from dealing with homeless on some of the properties. Those are the individuals that you see working on the K Street Mall here in Sacramento and in many downtown areas in your districts. We think that they provide a very good source to help the local communities, the businesses, and the homeless community work together to find solutions. And by this bill disallowing that from happening, it's taking away a resource from the business districts from making that happen. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, members, Jeremy Mers on behalf of the California Chamber of Commerce. We'd associate our comments with those of the California Business Property Associations and CJAC, and we are opposed to this bill.
Okay. Long hearing, Senator Liu. Let's bring it back to Senator Liu and the committee. Senator, do you have any?
Well, I'd like to hear the discussion among members.
Okay. We'll have a discussion among members.